That felt weird.
Yada da 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 da. We're
Duh.
here. Um, I feel like we're like a little like out of it because it's Friday. Our
Yeah, well, we
usual.
recorded last week on a Wednesday. We're recording this week on a Friday, and then I think next week we're going to be back to our Saturday. Or
I
are
think
we?
so. I think we are. We shall see. I think so. I think we might have a concert we're potentially going to on Friday
Exciting.
with Corey's brother and sister-in-law, but we're not solidified on that yet. But
Not
I'll be fine.
solidified.
I'll be fine to record on Saturday. It just might be the afternoon or something instead of the morning.
Well, let me know. I
I
don't.
will.
I'm fine either way.
Because we're flexible like that.
Well, I mean,
We're
your
loose,
afternoon is still my
loosey
morning, so.
goosey. We're true, true. So, welcome back to Oddities, everybody. I'm Cassie.
I'm Kelly.
Oddities. Stay strange.
And welcome back to Strange Town. As per usual, our description has all the fun things like links to our social media, links to all the wonderful artists we've worked with on this show, links to our Patreon. If you'd like to donate to our show, you can do so for as low as $1 bill per month. You get a bonus episode every week and access to all the other ones. They're video episodes. It's loads of fun. We also have a merch store. We also have our website that has all of these links as well. Please, you can find our email in the description as well, along with messaging us on social if you want. But send along your personal spooka stories.
So we can do a
And
listeners episode and shout you out.
yes, actually, my coworker this week shared with me that he has some spooka stories.
Share with us, coworker.
So I think I'm gonna get them from him. I'm gonna need him to write it down for me, and it's gonna be great.
He knows the
So
drill at
there,
this point.
so there you have it. Yeah. So, how's my bestie?
I'm good. I'm with my bestie.
And I'm happy you're here.
It's always a
Yay!
good time
And
with you.
and with you. This is always the highlight of my week, like every week.
Yep. Look forward to it regularly.
All the time ski, every day. We love it. Um, and uh I think we have some like potentially interesting things to cover this episode. But first, this was a big week for you guys. Care to
Yep.
share?
First day of school this week for the tiny one and the big one, and they're loving it. And I like that's what's most important, you know? Um I have learned I can be in two places at once. So that's pretty cool.
Excellent.
Adding that to the list of superpowers. Um, navigating new teachers. We'll get there.
We're gonna get there. There was some shit,
There's always some shit.
always.
Always. But you know, it is what it is. What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
Write strongly worded emails. That's what. You know what bothers the crud out of me? And
Tell
you
me.
can relate heavily to this. I know you can.
Mm-hmm.
Meetings that could be emails.
Oh, I could not relate to something more because I had three of those today, in fact. So
And I had two. it was
excellent.
it was just and then it's like, well, I understand these are important. This could have been in an email. There was no reason to waste all of our time with this.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
It
That
just
sucks.
this is wasting valuable learning time because as the day goes on, their interest level goes down
Yes.
and you're wasting my time right now, which is wasting their time, which is wasting a lot of time. So, you know, send it in an email.
Fair.
Two of
I
them are
mean,
yelling right now. So,
are we concerned?
no. When aren't they
Okay.
yelling? That's kind of where I'm at right now. So,
True. Um, from my side, some exciting news. Started the book club at the library this week. I forgot to mention
Ah.
this on our bonus, and we have some potential new listeners.
Hello, new listeners.
I hope you're there. I hope you're liking it so far. But everybody was really cool at the book club. We had a local business provide us chocolate-filled croissants.
Mm.
They were excellent. And there was like a hint of orange in them, and it was just like really, really
Ooh,
fire. It was from the Celtic shop, and it was great. So our first book is actually due next month. It's called The Brilliant Life of Eudora Honeysett. I actually finished it in 2 days. It's a really good book.
that says a lot. I mean, 2 days. It must have been
I
good.
ripped I ripped through that baby, and I'm trying to think of anything else really all that noteworthy from my side. Not really, other than like I was super pumped to hear that there are other people who like spooky things at the book club. Also that my, coworker has spooky things. So like, I mean, all around
There
just a
was
spooky week.
definitely positive things.
Yeah, we'd love to see it. I was bombarded by calls again, and it was too much, but it's fine. And we're vibing through the chaos. I guess like do tell, how did the play date go and everything?
So it got canceled,
Oh, that's right, that's right.
and for very good reasons.
For good reason. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
very.
okay.
Yeah.
Are we
Hopefully,
rescheduled yet?
no, not yet. Still feeling not great, and that's fine. And then start of school and stuff like that. So just
True.
chaos.
All right. Are
But
they in the same class again or no?
yes,
Yes. That's good. That's a win.
yes. Tall one was thrilled to see him. So it was it was a good first day of class. And
Good.
actually, he saw a lot of his classmates from last year, and so that made him very happy.
Excellent.
Yep.
So this is good stuff. Okay, cool. And um, I don't know. Anything fun this weekend for you guys?
You know, no, not not as not right now. Um, I think right now it will just be recovering. there's there's been a lot this week and the last few weeks, and I would love nothing more than to be a potato this weekend, if I'm gonna be straightforward with you.
I don't
Um,
blame you. I think you should.
Actually, last weekend we were being potatoes, and then our neighbors, we have new neighbors. They have smaller children, and they were having a birthday party, and they did come over and invite us, and we did go over for a little bit, and it was very nice. It was very sweet.
Fun.
Yes, and I even ran out and got a very quick birthday gift and balloon, and we made cookies for them
Nice. Okay.
on the fly. But they're very sweet, very kind. So that was nice. We did not stay for long. It was an outdoor birthday, and it was just too hot to be outside. I couldn't handle it.
Fair.
Um,
Yeah.
but nonetheless, it was just very kind of them to invite us over, especially with our plans getting canceled. So yeah, it was.
Wow.
But two birthday parties, 2 weekends in a row.
It's time to rest.
It's just I'm tired.
It's time to rest, dude. Well, I think that's good. And we're gonna do a little potatoing this weekend as well because Corey was traveling this week to good old Utah.
Mm,
But as a result, the dogs had me up at really weird times. He came and left at really weird times. So it was just like, you know, we
it's
need
time to
some
put on
rest.
the Mike Wazowski hat and watch movies.
Exactly. Yeah. So we got to catch up on a little sleep. And not our usual 13 minutes, but should we start the fun? I'm actually super psyched to tell you about this topic.
I I'm totally ready. So I went first last week. I think you should go first this week.
Let's do this. I'm covering, and this is just, I guess it's kind of like some weird history, but it's also folklore, but like it's folklore which we think we might have some basis of truth to that we can actually like nail it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Green Children of Woolpit. So,
Tell me more.
the legend of the Green Children of Woolpit starts actually during the reign of King Stephen in a rather tumultuous time in England's history, and it was known as the Anarchy in the mid 12th century. So we're going like way back, obviously we remember it well. So, Woolpit is an ancient village in Suffolk, named after, as one might gather from its name, an old pit for catching wolves. So, Woolpit originally in Old English was wolf pit. So, there you have it. Next to this wolf pit, in around 1150, a group of villagers came across two, like, just kids that had green skin. And apparently they were speaking gibberish and they were acting like nervously and weird. Um, Sounds like old Greg. According to writings at the time, and these writings came from Ralph of Coggeshall, the children, I know, the children were subsequently taken to the nearby home of Sir Richard de Calne, where he offered them food, but they repeatedly refused to eat it. And this continued for several days until the children came across some like green beans in Richard de Calne's garden, and they like just ate them straight out of the ground. They were like, "This is the shit." Like this is hitting. So
This is the shit.
it's
This is hitting.
this is it. Like this is like unreal. So it is thought that the children lived with Richard de Calne for some years, where he was able to slowly convert them over to normal food. And according to the writings of the day, this change in diet led to the children losing their green complexion. Um, and so the children also slowly learned to speak English. Once fluent, they were asked where they came from and why their skin was like it used to be green. And they replied with, "We're inhabitants of the land of Saint Martin, who is regarded with peculiar veneration in the country which gave us birth. We're ignorant as to how we arrived here. We only remember this, that on a certain day we were feeding our father's flocks in the fields. We heard a great sound, such as we are now accustomed to hear in St. Edmund's when the bells are chiming. And whilst listening to the sound in admiration, we became on a sudden, as it were, entranced, and found ourselves among you in the fields where you were reaping." And so they said, "The sun does not rise upon our countrymen. Our land is little cheered by its beams. We are contented with that twilight which among you precedes the sunrise or follows the sunset. Moreover, a certain luminous country is seen not far distant from ours, and divided by it from a very considerable river." So shortly after this revelation, Richard de Calne was like, "Okay, you guys need to go get baptized." So he takes them to a church. Um, they're baptized, but then the boy soon dies afterwards through some sort of unknown illness, and it's not like cataloged or whatever. And then the girl later became known as Agnes. She continued to work for Richard de Calne for many years before marrying the Archdeacon of Ely, Richard Barr. And according to one report, the pair had at least one child. So this all begs the question of who the heck were these like children of Woolpit? Most likely, they were descendants of Flemish immigrants who had been persecuted and possibly killed by King Stephen or perhaps King Henry II. And they were lost and they were confused without their parents. And the children could have ended up at Woolpit speaking only their native tongue of Flemish, perhaps explaining how the villagers thought they were maybe speaking gibberish, because Flemish is like kind of a wild language.
It
Um,
is.
so like it's like really wild to listen to. So furthermore, the green tint on their skin could actually be explained by malnourishment, also known as green sickness. The theory is supported by the fact that their skin reverted to a normal color once Richard de Calne had converted them over to eating a more like balanced diet. Um, I like to side with the more romantic theory that these kids come from some like either weird underground world or like aliens, of
I'm siding
course,
with weird underground ground world. Blah, blah.
right? Where everybody's just like green. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's the whole thing is it's it's pretty crazy. They were also said like when they first found them, they were dressed like in unusual fabrics, they said at one thing. And
Huh.
it's like, well, I mean, I don't know, like is it like is it actually that they could have just be like Flemish? I don't know. Like
Yeah.
it's very weird to me. And their whole like speech that they give as to where they came from or everything, it all sounds like kind of a little bizarre to me. And like they're like speaking in like riddles, but also they were like really little. So, you know, I don't know. There's also another account that describes the children venturing into a cave until they heard the sound of bells, which they followed until they ended up in Woolpit. Um, like another states that like they followed the flock into the caves, they became disoriented, and then a third said that the children heard a loud noise and suddenly found themselves at the bottom of the wolf pit. I don't know. The whole thing is pretty funky. The whole theory around malnourishment, though, I mean, it does kind of make sense to me. I mean, I've never heard that somebody who's malnourished comes across as green, but like also like, if you're jaundiced, like you come across yellow. And I mean, like things turn your skin weird, like colors, you know? Um, there's also like another theory is that they came from nearby Thetford Forest, which could have been where the kids were living. And it's a it's known to have like a very, very heavy tree cover, which may have given like that whole like permanent twilight, like whatever thing.
Yeah.
Um, so the reason that but going back to them being green, the reason that malnourishment could like cause this is it's so severe malnutrition affects the color of red blood cells and causes the skin to turn the shade of green. And another more like upsetting cause could also be arsenic poisoning, which is known to tint the skin like a greenish.
Oh.
The
Oh, that's
story
really
speculates
upsetting.
though, yeah, like if they were under the care of the Earl from Norfolk, like the children were maybe poisoned with arsenic and left to die in a forest near the border before they were found. Um, and then of course, there's aliens, which I mean,
Aliens.
there is a 1621 book called The Anatomy of Melancholy. This is by Robert Burton, and it claims that children fell from heaven, while a 1996 article for Analog Magazine by Duncan Lunan doubles down on this claim. And Lunan describes their home planet as being trapped in a synchronous orbit around the sun, so that only a narrow twilight zone of inhabitation is possible, sandwiched between boiling hot surface and a frozen one. Um, so I don't know. I mean, to me, the explanations, the more scientific based ones, like they do check out. But like, I
Yeah.
do love me. I love me an alien moment, you know?
I can't get it out of my head at all here. Do you remember when I covered the Green Lady?
Yes.
Actually, wasn't she wasn't the Green Lady? She was the Child Snatcher. It happened to be green.
Yes. Yeah.
What if these are the children and she turned them green?
And then she just like dumped them off in England. She was like, "Here, you guys take them. Enough." Because wasn't the Green Lady? Wasn't she in Hawaii? If I'm
She was in
remembering
Hawaii. I
correctly.
mean, the water all
Yeah.
connects.
I mean, you're right. You're not wrong. Like they just took a boat over. That's wild. That'd be
I don't know
the
why my brain is
crossover.
telling me that, but
The crossover we didn't know we needed, but
I know. It's
you
crazy.
know. So, yeah. Anyway, that's the Green Children of Woolpit. That's what I have for you. I thought it was a really fun piece of folklore, and there's some actual history tied in there. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, this could actually be a thing that like happened.
Yeah. Wow. I
I know.
wow. I love this. I hate it and love it. Aliens
I
though.
know. Aliens. I do feel bad for these kids, and especially
Yeah.
like the little boy. The little boy. They were like, "Here, you're getting baptized," and then the kid like died. And it was like, dude. But I mean, also, it was the 12th century. Everybody was dying from like
Yeah.
everything. So yeah. But that's it. That's the Green Children of Woolpit. What have ye, bestie?
A badass woman.
I'm so excited. Tell me more.
So, I am talking about a badass woman of history, the fighting girlfriend. It is Russian. I watched many and listened to many pronunciation videos. Myra Oktyabrsky.
Oh, okay. We tried. It sounded good to me.
She was a Soviet tank driver and mechanic. But before we get to that point, let's talk about her early life.
Okay.
So, Myra, Myra, all bets are off,
Mira?
guys.
Okay.
Mira, I like that one better, was born into a Soviet family in the Crimea Peninsula. She was one of 10 children.
Oh my God.
Yep. Before the Second World War, she worked in a cannery and then was a telephone operator. And then in 1925, she married a Soviet Army officer named Ilya. She then began to acquire an interest in military matters. She became involved in the Military Wives Council. She trained as a nurse and then in the army, and then she also learned how to use weapons and drive vehicles. It escalated
I
very
love that.
quickly. She said, "Marry a serviceman and you will serve in the army, and an officer's wife has not only is not only a proud woman but also a responsible title."
Okay.
And I kind of just dig that. I'm not going to
I
lie.
mean, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we'd love to see it.
So, when in the Second World War, when the Eastern Front of the World War II opened, she was evacuated to Tomaska in Siberia. While living there, she learned that her husband had been killed fighting the forces of
Oh.
Nazi Germany near Kiev, ironically,
Oh, okay.
in August of 1941. The news took 2 years to reach her. Could you
Oh my
imagine?
God. That's so long.
Yeah. The news angered her greatly, and she
I
became
mean,
determined to fight the Germans to avenge her husband's death.
oh my God, what a badass.
She
I get it
sold,
though.
yeah, she sold all of her possessions to donate a tank to the Red Army, and she requested the tank, and and the name Fighting Girlfriend was given to her. That tank, she was allowed to drive it, and the Senate Defense Committee agreed to this as well. By this time, she was 38 years old, and she enrolled in a 5-month take training program. And immediately after the donation, this was unusual. Usually, tank crews were rushed straight into the front line with a minimum training. After completing her training, she was posted to the 26th Guards Tank Brigade, part of the 2nd Guards Training Tank or 2nd Guards Tank Corps. Blah. In September 1943, as the driver and mechanic, she named her tank Fighting Girlfriend.
I love that. That's like the greatest name that she could have arrived at. That's fantastic.
Embolizing these words on the tank of the T-34, many of her fellow tankers saw her as a publicity stunt and a joke. But this attitude
Wow, okay.
changed when she began fighting.
Oh my God, as it should. Also, like, fuck those people, but okay.
She fought in her first tank battle on October 21st, 1943. She maneuvered her tank in intense fighting. She and her fellow crew members destroyed machine gun nests and artillery guns. When her tank was hit by gunfire, she disregarded orders and leapt out of her tank and effected repairs under heavy fire. She was promoted to the rank of sergeant after that.
Good.
A month later, on November 17th and 18th, Soviet forces were captured in the town of Nove Selu in the region of Vitebsk during the night battle. During the attack, she, with her large reputation as skilled tank driver, 17 November, she took part in an assault on the German positions near that town. However, a German artillery shell exploded against tank's tracks, halting her advance. She and fellow crew jumped out to repair the track, while the other crew members provided cover fire from the turret. Eventually, they fixed the track, and her tank rejoined the main unit several days later. What a
Oh my God.
badass! Your
She's
tank
such a
gets
badass.
injured, or not injured, destroyed
But
or
like,
whatever. She
yeah.
jumps out, fixes it, jumps back in, and just continues on.
Yeah, she's like, well, that's that. On to the next thing.
Yep. 2 months
I love
later,
that.
on January 17th, 1944, she fought in another night attack. The battle would prove her last. The attack took place in the village of Kirin, near Vitebsk. During the battle, she drove her T-34 about German defenses and destroyed resistance in the trenches, the machine gun nests. The tank crew also destroyed German self-propelled guns. Subsequently, the tank was hit by a German anti-tank shell. Again, in the tracks. It was immobilized. She immediately got out of the tank and began her repair on the track. Amid fierce small arms and fire, she managed to repair the track, but she was hit in the head by shell fragments and lost consciousness. After the
Oh
battle,
no.
she was transported to the Soviet military field hospital near Kiev and then a hospital in Smolsk, Russia. She remained in a coma for 2 months before finally dying on March 15th. She was buried with military honors and heroes' remembrance gardens in Smolsk. The following August, she was made a hero of the Soviet Union in recognition of her bravery in the battles around Vitebsk.
I mean, it's the least they could do.
I love this woman.
I love this woman. This woman's great.
I believe wholeheartedly she took her grief and ran with it in the best way possible.
What a queen. Yeah, I know,
Literal queen.
absolutely.
I am so thrilled to learn that she was honored rightfully because
Yes.
she did great things for her country in every way, shape, or form, and was a total badass in every way, shape, or form.
I know her shoulders were tired from carrying the weight
All
of all
that
that
weight.
shit. All that weight. Like, I mean, she crushed it.
There are so
Absolutely
many
crushed
things
it.
I truly love about her. The thing that I really love, this is a publicity stunt. Fucking hold my beer.
I know that is like the most hold my beer thing that I've heard in a long time. I love it.
She proved them wrong in the best way possible.
Yeah.
Sad that her life ended. She probably could have done so much more. She probably would have done so much more. Glad that she is a woman of history. Glad that her nickname is the Fighting Girlfriend. Should have been the Fighting Wife,
I
in
mean,
all honesty,
yeah.
but neither here nor
But
there. This topic is brought to you by Cousin Nathan. Thank you, Cousin
thank you,
Nathan.
cousin Nathan.
Phenomenal.
Wonderful.
He has given me some really great topics. Stay tuned for next week. You're gonna love it.
We love it. We love it. I can't wait. That's awesome. This was a great episode.
This was a fantastic episode.
I love
Despite
this for
everything
us.
I'm gonna have to cut out. Fantastic episode.
Yeah, I mean it's been a wild recording session on both ends of the equation, but we had ourselves a great episode.
Mercury retrograde.
Retrograded. We're almost there. Before we know it, it's going to be done. We
Oh
got like
yeah.
what, 11 more days, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got this. We got
It's
this.
a piece of cake.
Piece of cake, definitely. All right, bestie. Well, that was amazing. Well done, you. Let us know what you think about the Green Children of Woolpit, aka Gotta Be Aliens. Let us know what you think about the Fighting Girlfriend, aka the Fighting Wife, aka Mira, the coolest person ever. Mira, Myra, Mura, we don't know.
The
We just
badass
don't know.
bitch
The badass bitch.
of history.
And yeah, that's right. And until next time.
Stay strange.